Thomas watched from the safety of the pagoda as his body, the one currently occupied by Braccus, moved around on the porch of the large Victorian building in front of his friends. His heart sank as they stood face to face with his form. Green eyes stared fixedly at the spot where Sarah, Alice and James stood, a satisfied smile on his own familiar face. Alice was cloaking them from view, using her enhanced powers to manipulate the air around them. She wanted to create the illusion of emptiness, pushing out the residue of power that her gifts left around them. Power left traces, and she could feel a lot of it around him. At first she had let a little bit of their magical essence seep through. She could tell by the look on Thomas's face that he had felt them. He was smiling in a rather unpleasant way and walking slowly across the porch toward the steps, preparing to come down to them. Alice adjusted quickly, feeling Sarah feed the illusion of another portal opening and the trace of power leaving with it. Well, almost all the power. She had to grab Sarah's arm and get her to stop helping. Seemed her help was attracting Thomas's attention again. Blue eyes glowing with her inner strength, a strength that was reaching out to the imposter, without realizing she had, power calling to power. Braccus's life force was seeking hers, luring her in by the appearance of someone she loved so much. She knew it wasn't really Thomas inside that shell, but it was so hard to convince herself of that for just a moment. She had an intense desire to walk up to him and hug him, forgetting for just one moment what she knew for certain, where the most important part of him was, inside her mind. Braccus's influence was so strong he almost convinced her that. He was screaming inside her head, banging on the windows as hard as he could, hands becoming bloody as he pulled her back to where he really was. That smiling monster on the porch was not him anymore. She could not go to him. She must not go. "Come back to me." His voice reached out to her, commanding her presence, making her pull back as Alice's hand clamped down and urged her to cut the power off. Like a switch had been shut off inside her, the fine line that was drawing her to the tall imposter in front of her snapped, and she appeared outside the window, reaching out to Thomas, fingertips leaving an impression on the glass as she tried to make contact. He reached out too, only to find that he was looking at smudges on the window, her form already shadowy and fading away again. With eyes closed, he gave up his pride and the anger he felt at her for insisting he stay here in this safe place where he could never leave her, and followed her retreating spirit. He grabbed the thin wavering line she left trailing behind her and joined his spirit with hers. Holding on to it like a lifeline and pouring all the love he had for her into that connection, he wrapped the thin threads together firmly, making it stronger and stronger. She was on her way to something else, and he was not going to let her go alone. He had been stupid about this whole thing and wasn't going to sit here and let her sacrifice herself again. If the future he had been told about was a sure thing, then his spirit was going to die with hers. It wasn't going to happen any other way.